Hi, Purbashree, you were there. I think
Hello, hello. Can you?
pleasant to see you, to see your faces. It would be more brighten up the crowd. Let's brighten up the crowd that can see you. Okay, wonderful.
Hello.
So rest, I think everyone would be more of like host or attendees, like they are shy to show up their faces. Huh? Okay, great, wonderful. So Purbashree, it's
Yes.
wonderful to have you here after 2 years down the line. Yes,
Oh my God, definitely.
two
It's been a
years.
long
2 years
time.
down the line, right? Like since you got in touch with us, you
Hmm.
moved to the UK, the journey, and currently doing wonderfully. We can see backflip of your stories, what's happening.
Well,
They're having a
thank
good
you.
does gives
Yeah.
us a like that way I said you earlier, does gives us a positive
Hmm.
jealousness seeing you doing well at the same time, traveling around the places and yes, it motivates us at the same time. Should I go for again second masters for myself?
Oh
Already
my
started.
God.
I
Yes.
would
Yes. That's
definitely
the other
go.
thing going on in my mind. Yeah. Should I
Okay.
take any other masters or PhD or something like that?
Okay,
Yeah.
great, wonderful. So it's the
Yeah.
easiest way to enter
Mm.
the country of great potential, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yes, British education is one of the best in the world. We all know it. So yes, good evening, everyone. Again, I'm welcoming everyone who have made an effort to join and hear Purbashree Deka, who hails originally from Nalbari, Assam, India, and currently based out in Chester. Sorry, you were
Leicester.
Leicester, Leicester.
Leicester. Yeah.
Based out in Leicester in working with a company after completing her master's in media and communications. Right? So we would love to hear from you first, briefly regarding your journey, what you have done previously, and what you have completed in the current university.
Yes, so regarding my education, I have completed my graduation in India, which I did the same journal. I had my bachelor's in journalism and mass communication. I did it from Noida International University. And if you know about the film city in Noida, after, yeah, from there I have completed my graduation. And then um, coming to here, I did my master's in media and communication. And to be specific, it's global media and culture industries. And yeah, my journey till now has been awesome. And I did had few job experience in India, little bit, because of course I was studying and then I got a year gap and where I was doing a job and then I came here in UK and then started doing job again, which is great.
So we are starting with first with the academic part of your
Right,
questionnaires, like what definitely. So
right,
we'll not take much, like we'll try to hit the most important primary reasons people are concerned about while studying abroad, especially.
right.
We are primarily going to focus majorly in the UK, but we'll talk about globally also. Why people have started slowly growing and thinking about of studying abroad. The major thing is that. So tell me, you had applied a couple of universities. What made you choose the university you have completed? We want to hear from you. Why Loughborough? Why
Okay.
not any other Russell Group? Why not maybe another big university? Loughborough, yeah, itself is a top 10 in the median culture,
Yeah,
right?
that would be one of the reasons that it was in the top 10 list. And then by looking at the videos in YouTube, the campus tour and stuff. So yeah, it was like vibrant campus and the faculties. And I did read about the how the studies work here, like how they, what you call that? So basically, they had like strong background in education. Like they do more of research and stuff, which they are famous for as well. And yeah, I think these were the small things that made me join this university rather than any other. Loughborough is a name itself. I would say it is a brand, and which is helping me a lot now as well. So it is a complete brand, I would say.
Wonderful. One. So at the same time, see, there's always a concern whenever a student starts applying abroad is that
Mm.
how am I going to meet my finances? But
Yeah.
at the same time, I do have a contradiction to the same question is that when we see the majority of students who study abroad are usually taking the education loan and going abroad to study for the higher education. Do you
Mhm.
really think it's worth it? Because
It
end of the day,
is,
it's
yeah, I would say it is 100% worth it. First of all, you get to see another perspective. Like it's like a complete different world you are entering into. And getting to know, learning. everyday new things, and it's complete a different lifestyle you will be adopting, which is definitely worth it. Okay. And education wise, it is like it will help you to be more independent, I would say. You will do your own research, you will do everything yourself, which will make you stronger, and which will make you like more confident on yourself, I'd say.
Yeah, you had chosen United Kingdom as your primary destination while you went
Right.
for your higher studies. I still remember that when even I was giving you the countries options of France, Italy, Germany, you said, no, I straight want to go to UK only. You all
Yeah.
had your own reasons to go to the UK. But we always come hearing stories, right? Even students come and ask us that, sir, or Suaid, there is not a great employability. Or like, why do still I should go to you to study in the UK? So what made you choose, still knowing from peers and mentors, or maybe some people might have still poked you around while you're applying for your masters in the UK, that even you're hearing that the employability might be a very competitive. Why it made you still choose UK as a destination?
I would say employability is something which if you think it's complex, then it's complex. If you think it's easy, it's easy. You just need to crack that thing. Once you crack it, it will be easy. If you compare the job markets in India and here, I believe it will be the same competitive market. But getting a job in here, I'd say it will depend upon your experience. But since you are coming from India, of course, you will not have the experience of UK, which will be your bit of minus point. But gradually, when you'll be studying, you will be starting with a part-time job. That will give you a UK experience, how the people work here. Yeah. And then after you complete your master's, you will already get the exposure of working here, and then you can get a full-time job very easily. Like the transition will be easy. Um, yeah, but you'll have to try to get a part-time job as well, in the same time. Yeah.
Okay. But at the same time, like you have said, the employability in the UK, how difficult was it for you to get a part-time job opportunity in the UK? So year by year, the
Uh,
people are increasing, right? The number of
yeah.
students looking forward. So,
Yeah.
so how difficult was it, and how easy was, like, comfortable was
Okay.
to
I
adapt
would
to the
be honest.
environment?
Yeah, I would be honest in this case. It was little difficult, but since I had this thing of communicating, networking with people, this helped me a lot in getting my first job till now. I would say you should be always vigilant. You should be always aware of what's happening around you. Wait and grab the perfect opportunity and the perfect time. You should be vigilant about it. And if you're vigilant, it's very easy, I'd say.
Do you really think, do you really think after 2, 3 months of entering in the UK, a student can try to cover up his or her living expenses with the part-time opportunities or the earning?
Living expenses, I would say yes. Yes, but yeah, you need to get a part-time job, of course, which will need a little bit of effort, no doubt. But yeah, once you get the part-time job, your expenses, yeah, will be covered, definitely. You'll get more than the expenses, actually.
Okay,
Uh,
wonderful. So
yeah,
but how can we relate that, right? I can see your Facebook and Instagram pages and all, right? That's how you are traveling a hell lot in the UK, right? A good amount of
yeah.
time you're going around and traveling different places in the UK. Tell me, what is the best thing you have learned till date being in the UK?
Hmm. First of all, patience.
Okay,
Patience would be the first thing I have learned here. You like even like when you go to buy a small thing in the shop, the way you need to stand in a queue or opening the gate for someone, and like the gratitudeness,
okay,
it's a whole lifestyle, I would say. And that makes you like feel so good about it. And yeah, that also makes me feel that why should we not have this thing in India as well? Why can't people learn this? Yeah.
okay. So I think we all users can start adapting, and a lot of people might keep going to UK and start returning back to India and start teaching the other people who have still not
Oh
got
my
the
God, that
education
would be a
exposure.
beautiful, beautiful India if we start doing this kind of things and gestures. Yes.
Okay, so do you really think internships, apart from the part-time opportunities, because we come across a lot of students who say that a students lot of indulge too much on the part-time opportunities
Mhm,
and focus less on the education. Does it
mhm.
really impact on the future job prospects? Or do you think part-time still is essential to get a future job prospects is important?
Part-time is important to get your next job, I'd say. And you should have your control on the you basically you need to balance your education and your part-time together, and this is a part of multitasking. You should know how to do it, and this will help you to get a better job, like a full-time job as well. And career and sorry the education is really important. Yeah, and sorry, what did you ask again? um,
Like the balance it, like do you think the part-time does it
yeah.
makes an impact in the job, and or people compromise on the education and focus more on the part-time opportunities in the UK?
So if you learn, if you have seen the UK system, of course you have studied in UK, so you know how the UK education works here. We get the assignments, we get the dissertation, which is completely dependent on you. You do the research, you do this, you do that. It's you. So you will have to balance everything. You will have to see everything, and you should make sure that it doesn't hamper your studies. And
Okay.
if it does happen, then I would say it's bad. But I have never seen anyone who has got hampered their studies because of part-time.
Okay. All right. So see, before we take the next, like we keep having a conversation, I'd ask all the people who have registered here if they have any questions. It might be any silly questions, any sort of questions, which we can shoot out to Purvashri or even to
Yes,
me.
of
Like
course.
you want to ask, or you can want to contradict to the things we are discussing that you don't agree with us. You always have a platform here in the chat box. You can drop your messages, and we'll try to answer or try to relate to the questions that you're asking to us. Definitely on that. So I think there are few offer holders. There are people who are still thinking about higher education, still thinking this expensive. Is it worth it to is a return of investment? Now, Purvashri,
Mhm.
let's hit on the return of investment thing on that.
Okay.
How do you think the UK education can be beneficial if tomorrow, let's say 5, 10 years, you might not have a plan. There might be a hell good amount of students who want to come back to India. Do you really think coming back to India, it will still be a potential qualification in getting a job or standing out of the crowd?
Yes, I think so. Even from my course, I think two or three students have gone back to India and they are doing a nice job in India as well. I would say it completely depends on the individual.
Okay.
But it is worth it. Either you are staying here back in UK or you're going back to India. Eitherwise, it's worthwhile.
How difficult is to get a, you have already done a master's. I
Hmm.
think you already have kept 2, 3 plans open up for yourself, right? You're still thinking
Yes.
about a higher research program for yourself. A PhD might be in the near future. So, do you really think doing a PhD will give up you more insights, or how easy is to get a PhD in the UK? Because in India, we have at least 5 different steps to be completed before you can enter a PhD. You need to clear the UGC NET examination. Then you need to
Mhm.
sit for the interview. Then you need to fight for the survival of the fittest, as we say, the Darwin's theory, right? Like there
Mhm.
might be 10 positions and hundreds of people have qualified fight for the net. But how difficult or how easy access do you have the faculties to get a PhD in the respective universities or any other universities in the UK?
Yeah. Uh, I would say if I tell about my university, I can easily go for PhD for my from my university because I have been a alumni of the uni. Um, it's not that tough to get a PhD in any of the UK universities comparing to India. And getting a PhD, you go for a PhD only when you feel like you need to indulge into a research topic, and that is gonna be impactful either for the society or EU, I don't know. Yeah, either for the society would be the best one, I would say. If you're going for PhD, you should keep that thing in mind always before doing the PhD.
Okay. Tell me something again. Let's come to the employability part. So
Yeah.
now you already have started applying for different companies. Though you're working
Yeah.
currently with a company with a good amount of money, which you are really happy already, but you are also open up for other positions also at the same
Yeah.
time. How do the UK employers see international student as a potential candidate?
Hmm. Okay, so
Or is this, sorry, I mean, let me complete again. Let me add one more
yeah,
part so that you can have a descriptive. Or they give importance to the local students more than the international students.
of course, when there is a competition, always the recruiter will look into things like how can we cut our expenses. If you say that we will need the sponsorship visa, that means it's already an additional cost. But the thing that makes you different is how your qualities, your experience can contribute to that company, and which will make them to hire you. So it again comes to you. How can you be more impactful to the company?
Okay. Now, you have been with concern for the parents sending away the kids, especially. I think it's quite common now. It's now equality, like in India, now whether it's a boy student or a girl student who is going to pursue their higher studies from other cities away from their hometown. How difficult was it to impress your mother, right? I would say on that,
Oh
or
my God.
your, I mean, say,
Hmm.
your relatives to make them understand that yes, I really deserve, and I know the place where I'm going, it's more safer than any other places in India. How do you prove it?
Okay. Actually, in the beginning, I was doing everything. I didn't tell my mom about, like in the beginning, I didn't say her, but I did tell her when it was like the last decision pass we needed to make. I did tell her, and she was a little bit shocked as well and surprised. She was, of course, like, okay, how can you do it? Like, of course, we are going to invest 30 lakhs rupees, or yeah, 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs. How will we get the ROI thing was in my mom's mind. How we are gonna get the money back, how you're gonna do it, and how safe is in UK. I mean, the news and stuff that you get in India, the girls are not safe anymore, this that. Oh my God, yeah, these things would have come in my mom's mind. I know you helped to get through this as well. And so I did convince my mom, like country this country is completely different. This country has got so much safety. It's so much safer than India. You can't even imagine. Like, the whole process are very different. And I did tell her some few points. I did, because I was looking in the YouTube videos. I was doing research about UK, how it works, how their bus service works, how their uh, I don't know how the police system. You can get videos in UK. I was doing this kind of things, and I look, mom, this is how you do. This is how it happens. Look, it's so safer in here. That's why I tried to
Okay,
convince.
wonderful. So that's something because this is a major challenge every Indian student faces, and obviously there's a concern, big concern in today's date. Every parent want to know the safety and the security of a nation
Mhm.
when a student plans for that. So you are seeing plan. It's like it's not UK. If someone is planning to study abroad, like in India, we keep fighting after class 12 to get into the IITs and NITs. Every student's dream or every parent's dream to get the kids admitted, or even the top humanities, social science, or media schools like DU and this sort of schools. But seeing the number of seats to the number of people applying is always less in the ratio. So, do you really think that you should have gone for a graduation program overseas?
Oh my God, that would be in my I wish list. Okay. I wish I would have come to like abroad studies for my graduation rather than my master's. That would be so worthful, so worthful. Um, and yes, the people who are trying, the students that were trying to get IIT, this thing, seats and stuff. Those people, those students should come to UK or any other European countries or elsewhere, they will have lot of less competition here because I believe the Indians' minds are
Okay.
sharper than any in here. So
So we are the bestest in the mind in the world, right? We
yes,
anyways ruling the world.
that's what you come here, you come out. I mean, you get the best opportunity outside here.
Okay. See, the main reason for asking these questions is that, yes, every year by year, the students going outside of India is increasing. It's 11 lakhs. Last year, it was 13.8 lakhs. This year, we're expecting it to be more higher as per the statistics data. Students who are migrating outside of India for higher education on the purpose.
Yeah.
Maybe because of the reasons people have started now doing research in terms of ranking of the universities
Mm-hmm.
rather than just considering the finances,
Mm-hmm.
because the return of investment is more important to the student in today's date than just applying to a university of its country ranking. So
Mm-hmm.
we don't find any of our nationalized institutions still in the top 120 university world. But I think Loughborough, Birmingham, or let's say Trinity as examples of the university, which is still higher and better than the universities. So yes, so I know we have covered 20-25 minutes. I don't take 50 minutes of a session or make it more longer for yourself. I'll be asking two, three few more questions and we'll be waiting for people if they want to shoot out any questions and want to see if anyone's have any other questions. Guys, you guys that impressed by Purvash's conversation that you don't have any questions for yourself. You can shoot any questions here. Any people who want to know anything about Purbashree, anything else, any products. It can be any sort of how to grow in their personal or professional profile building. So you can ask or you can get in touch with her also. I think, and she's always easily accessible on that. So we already have got the first question. There is one question, Udit Agrahari, okay. So there is one question like, does universities rankings matter? Like not everyone has a great academic or financial background. Their pocket not allowing to go with the higher rank universities. Like I have received, but those universities worth it, or it go with the university ranking 100 or 200. Purvash, you want to go first or you want me to go first? You go first, please.
I'm just trying to just give me a second. Yeah, I'm just trying to read the question. Do you want to go first? It's okay.
Okay. So hi Udit, let me first put insight from the being in the industry. See, so I'm not aware of which country you have. If you have applied only in the UK, you need to have a different sort of thinking process. First is the course content. That's very important, right? It doesn't matters a ranking. Not all Russell Group or not all the universities have all the courses in the top rank, which means, like Turbashi was saying, Loughborough is in top 10 for media and sports majorly and engineering courses. But at the same time, there are schools which are modern universities, and you might not find them in the top 30 universities, but might be very popular for some courses. So it does matters what modules you are learning and what course content you are looking for yourselves and what is the long-term achievement and goals. Now, there are two sorts of mentality. Some students target the universities where tuition fees are higher than 25 to 30 lakhs, and some target the 15 to 18 lakhs. But end of the day, for my way of saying is that end of the matters is the skill. How are you developing and how are you utilizing your time, your stay in the UK? It's not like in India that the college gets you the job. Like Purvashi rightfully says, you have to develop yourselves. You have to build your network. End of the day matters. But yes, for some jobs, some research, university background sometimes matter. What course and what you have learned from there. Purvashi, please, if you want to join up the same question.
Yeah, I would say when I think this student is asking about if it is not among the top 10 or top 50 universities, is it worthwhile getting into such university? I would say yes. Uh, because I have seen many of my friends getting nice jobs in the company that they wanted. And this would be possible because of they had this thing like self-improvement, improving themselves every day, every second, and they made it worthwhile. So it completely depends upon you. It doesn't matter if it's not under the top 50 university, it doesn't matter. But you have to make sure that when you are studying, you are giving your 100%. When after you are completing the studies, while you're searching the jobs, the job market, you are giving your 100%. If you need to connect to people, get more networks, learn more things, give your best, do your best, and everything will like fall into its places. It's not like big science, I'd say.
So we have another question from Vanilla. She has asked you, how did you budget your monthly expenses in the UK, and where did you get your loan sanctioned? So I think this loan sanction, she can say from a public bank, she have sanctioned, if I'm not wrong, right? A public bank only. It was a public sector bank. And you can talk
Yes.
about the budget expenses, Purbashi, please.
Yes, the budget expenses, I would say in student life, I didn't had much like to think much about the budgets and stuff because when I did take a loan, so I already got my expenses for my stay. Like I have already paid, fully paid my stay expenses. So the remaining was my monthly own expenses like eating or going out or buying stuffs. And I'd say I never did budgeting in that sense. I did had my like I did had money with me, and if I think I don't remember exactly after the loan, I have not even taken a penny from my mom. That's what I remember. And you don't really need budgeting. Like it would be like 50 pound expense for your what you call that,
Week,
grocery and
groceries
stuff.
and weekly.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. And if you are buying some expensive things and other, it completely depends upon you. But the mandatory thing I would say will cost you 50 to 80 pound monthly.
Okay. All right. So what I can understand is that each student has their own way of lifestyle and the living, and how do you calculate it yourselves? First 2, 3 months, it's difficult to estimate yourselves. After that, I think students can adapt according to their way of, or they can regularly updates on that. But it's usually, if it's not in London, it's in a different city, I think people can cut down for groceries to 30 to 50 pounds at max, right? Weekly?
Yeah, yeah, they can do it.
Maximum 30.
That's why how much you want to cut it down, how much you want to live in luxury, it depends on
Huh.
you. Yeah.
How much you go to McD's and how much you go to, that also matters a lot, right?
Exactly, exactly. But yeah, I
Okay.
I used to think a lot where I can cut, where I can save money. But but when you're a student, you go with your friends, you go outings, you explore things. You can't really stop it that much. So you should always have a extra this thing with you always. I mean, budget wise.
How help so Purvashi, next thing, how helpful were your faculties when you were doing a master's at your university? Like, do you really think they were easily approachable? Like in India, it's very difficult to reach out to the faculties or the people who work in top universities, right? Or was it very easily accessible to your university faculties who were teaching you, or even when from your same department?
Yeah, so reaching out to the faculty was really easy comparing to if you compare with India, because here people replies to your email, first of all. It doesn't matter you want to contact to your university professor or you are trying to connect with some CEO of a company. If you leave them a message, they are gonna reply you 100%. So I would say it's a lot easier to
Okay.
connect with the people in here. Yeah.
All right, great. So any more questions? Anyone can connect. Anyone wants to say anything? I think Vanilla. Okay, yeah, Vanilla, you can connect with her in Purbash. You are there on the LinkedIn, right?
Yeah, yeah, I'm on LinkedIn.
You can connect
You
with
can
anyone.
search my name, Purbashree Deka. I think you'll find it.
Anyone else have any questions who can shoot out? Please. What is the current job market in the field of analytics, like data or business analytics? So Udit, yeah, should I go first or you?
No, it just reminded me one of my
Please,
friend who
please,
did
please, please.
who studied from Loughborough University. He did some I think data analytics course,
Yes.
and
Okay. The
he
famous one.
has already got a job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the same time, whenever someone pops up with me the data analytics or business courses, I always remember one of my students who was not from the IT or the computer science background, and he was from a very small college in India, very small. I would say very, very small college. And he went to the hardcore COVID times to pursue his master's program in business intelligence with data science. And at the same time, which for him, it was very difficult to get a master's program in India because he did not have the relevant background. But this guy had internships, online courses done. So he made it easily accessible because UK universities see your overall profile. They don't see your academic modules.
Mhm.
So this guy is currently working with Xerox company in the data engineering field with a package of more than 50,000 pounds, being a freshers. And when complete of us, like all of India was sleeping, I think, COVID times, we were going through the hardcore times. And he was studying and completed his education and was got the job easily. And likewise, Purva, she also agrees she had a friend. So this field is ever growing, data analysis, business analytics. And the best part is that UK is such a vibrant country. They're not limited to just one specializations. If you are best in what you are doing, I feel that it's never going to stop you from getting the rightful jobs. If Purvashi can agree on the same thing, you can give your own inputs on the same time.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Udit, I hope you got your insights, or do you think it's still not clear? Anyone else? Anything else we can ask? Any other people who wants to know anything else? Okay, what are the options of accommodations and are the accommodations easily available for international students? I think Purvashi can rightly hit the question, right? So she's working in the
Yes.
accommodation sector
Oh my God,
currently.
yes.
So
Uh,
definitely.
Yeah, so options are easily available, of course. You can get accommodations nearby your university, inside your university campus, in like some of the universities. So yeah, these are easily available for the international students, and those accommodations are really student friendly. I mean, uh, they will celebrate like they will try to celebrate all of your occasions like celebrations and stuff just to let you that you are feeling at home. So yeah, I would say it's very student friendly and you will definitely can find one nearby to your university.
So when let me add up on that.
Yeah.
So month there are three types of accommodation, two types of accommodations majorly, but and the third one I'll tell you later on. The first one is the university run accommodation halls. And second one is the private companies running the accommodation halls on behalf of the universities. Companies like, you can name few companies, Purbashree, where you're currently working. You're working with
Unite students.
student.com. To Unite
Unite.
Students, Unite Students. So Unite Students is one of the most premium company of accommodations, and they have a good amount of properties all across the UK
Mhm.
and even in the Europe
there
also.
yeah, there are companies like homes for students,
Yes, homes for students,
um CRM students, which I
CRM.
worked previously,
Uh,
yeah, as yeah, accommodation supporting officer, and um yeah, yeah, just you can continue. I need to remember other names.
okay. Type of accommodation is the you reach out to the owners of the accommodation, but sometimes it becomes difficulty at initial stage to get those accommodations of the landlords because you need to guarantor of the UK to get the accommodation like access. Plus, you need to pay the local tax, Kirklees tax, and all you need to pay up for yourself. So usually students prefer for the first year of their stay in the UK usually with the accommodation companies, if I'm not wrong, because you
Yeah,
don't have to pay after that.
yeah, I would say it's there is a difference in here. Like the Unite students, they consider the international guarantor as well. So yeah, your mom or your dad can be your guarantor, so it's not a problem in here.
Okay, okay, great. So we have one more question is that how much easy is to get the job, the first job? I mean, is there any placement drive or job fair in the university? I know we all from the mentality of the Indian colleges. If there are a set of companies going to come and hire on that. So, Purvashi, do you think how
Yeah.
did you adapt to the change in the UK from the Indian way of mentality, placement drives
Mhm.
happening in the UK in Indian colleges?
Yeah, I would say here nobody's gonna hold your hand and take you to a job to get a
Okay,
job.
okay,
No, yeah. I would say cracking a first job will completely depend on you, your CV, your network. CV is very important in UK, and I am able to find some of the hacks of CV, but yeah, you can contact me and I can probably help you with this. And regarding the job fair, every university has got job fair where in my university, the big giants like Rolls-Royce, Mercedes, and many more famous important companies would come to the job fair just to do interaction with you. Maybe they would tell about their companies, how you can help their companies. It's upon you. You are going to make the conversation. It's upon you how you make the impact with the conversation. How you, yeah. And what was it? Yeah, I think I have answered your question.
Yes, yes, you have answered the question. The last, another question is the UK government planning to remove the 2-year post-study work? There are many reports circulating. So
Mm.
let me go on this first. I don't know. See, if the UK government, let's say on a very positive note, if the UK government removes such 2 years post-study, brilliant implementation thing done in again back on 2018, I would think they might get into bankruptcy again back, right? They would ruin the economy by themselves. So
Mhm.
that's never going to happen. It's this all news always keep on circulating. Every other country does every other news circulations. So I don't want to go much in details, but it keep on happening. This is a very positive outlook because there are lot more projects the UK higher education system is going to implement with the Indian government very soon. So this is never going a case to be at least for the next 5 years to happen. The 2-year post-study work policies to happen. At least for the students who are going for the next 3 years till there is any changes in the government. Let's say on that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I would say I have seen here, most of the people who are working would be either Asian, either some other European, like in UK. So there is no way then that they can cut the people coming from the other countries because they will not be able to run without us. So it would be, I'd say, next to impossible that they're gonna do this. Yeah, otherwise they will gonna go bankruptcy or something like that. Yeah.
Like already, the Indians are the most brilliant minds. So without brilliant minds, there is no way of running a good country, right?
Yeah,
So that's the reason.
definitely.
So it's one way of positive drain we require to happen so that these big people with good minds they can come back in the near future back in India and develop the India accordingly to their wishes, right?
Mhm.
Any more questions? So I think we have covered majorly of the things. And if you still guys have any more questions, you can reach out to our platform, our app, as well as you can reach out to Purbashree also. You can reach out how to she has a brilliant Instagram profile showcasing her travel and plans and as well as in the LinkedIn. So definitely. Yes, please. Will my 1.5 years in India company help me secure a good job? How will it benefit me in the job market? If it's relevant to your field of study, even the field of job you're applying for, it is to be an advantage. Right, Purvashri? Having an experience of 1.5 years of experience in an Indian company. But if you're applying for the masters, then definitely it's not going to, if it's not relevant to your profile, it might be not a great weightage. Now, let's say if someone is going for an IT job or someone has done some sort of just management, it will be beneficial if you can showcast properly in your CV or resume. Purvashi, you want to add up something
Yeah.
here, please?
In UK, there is focus on the thing like transferable skill set. So this is something. What are the skills that you can transfer from your last job to the job you are doing now? They're gonna ask you in the interview, and if you can crack that, then why not?
Okay, great, wonderful. So I think we'll try to switch on in and we really thank you, like grateful that Purbashi you could manage up time after your vacation, after your work and everything on that. Yeah, we had a few more questions more shooting up. Does having no work experience hamper you finding a job? Purbashi, please.
Yes, just give me a second. So just give me a second. What was it?
Does having no work experience hamper you in finding a job?
Mm. So if you have no experience, then what you can do is, what are the skills that you have learned during your studies? Like you did your graduation, you are doing your masters. What are the transferable skills again? If you can show this to the recruitment person, then probably yes, you can crack the job. But it will be like very very thin line in here. Um, you will have to prove yourself more, I would say.
Okay, great. So how is the work culture? I mean, are there any discriminations for Indian students, as we have heard that people used to discriminate in international students? So Aman, you want to? I feel Purbashree that I don't find any discrimination happening in the UK. It's in India. This definition of discrimination exists, and if the discrimination of definition has been evolved in any of the countries across the globe, it's the we the Indians will evolve the definition of discrimination. You will not
Yeah.
find any discrimination because of well-being and equality culture is there in the UK
I,
corporate country.
I would give you a small example here. Um, I don't know I meant to say this or not, but if you see here, the Rishi Sunak was PM for few months. Okay, if there would be discrimination here regarding your race and stuff, now how could he get into prime minister position? It's never
Great,
gonna
very nice
happen.
to see. Yes,
And
that's
and and you see comparatively that Sonia Gandhi, she's not even able to get to any of the position because we Indians, we don't accept anyone from outside. But here it's so open culture that you like with your Indian background or any of the background, you can be anything. Even the London mayor, his background is from Pakistan. So
it's a
it's
mixed culture on that.
yeah, it is a
Definitely.
mixed culture. There is no racism. You just need to be what you say. Um, I have seen some students in around here that they would do some things which would which would ignite this kind of racism conversation. So you should avoid those kind of stuff doing here, like fooling around. Yeah, I'd say.
Okay, Matrika Neva to everyone. Could you give me a brief insight on the biotechnology sector? So, should I go first, Purbashree, or you
Go
will
on, go
speak?
on, go on.
So biotechnology is always one of the most demanding sectors. It's always going to grow and keep growing always in terms of research and development, whether it's going to be in the field of medicine, is going to environment and science is going to always evolve. That is the reason the maximum number of funding from the GATI, which is joint collaboration projects happening between the UK government. In my recent interaction yesterday, I was in a British Council event where this in the government of UK higher education and the Indian Department of Science and Technologies invest in the maximum in biomedical, biotechnology, human science, and even in the environmental development. So climate change was the last year, which was the maximum investment done by the UK government in the climate change. So this year they are also trying to invest more on times on the biotechnology, and I think Matrika, I feel so you can also try from the Gati scheme, which is also and women entrepreneurs and also who are going to the science and technology sector for their higher education to get a full funding for the masters as well as for the PhD. Please visit the British Council or not British Council exactly the UKVI website for the GATI to let it know more in details regarding the same thing. All right.
I would say I think add here. One of my friend who did biotechnology, but afterwards he came. He had a lot of experience though, and then he came here to do MBA, and he is in pharma sector, like medicine and stuff. And now he is a quality assurance compliance manager in a company called Tanner Pharma.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so yeah, there is scope, I'd say.
Yes, definitely. Likewise, we say the initial conversation when you say it, it's all about what you have learned in your program. It's not about the course that's going to the job, it's about the skills that you develop in the course. That's more important for you, whether in your higher education for PhD or even for your job market also. I think Purbashri has shared her
Yeah.
Instagram code. All those who are willing to join her, you can scan the code and follow her for more updates from her. Yeah, great. She also has shared her LinkedIn profile. You can get in touch with her. It's always good. Guys, all those who are planning, all those who are in final year of graduation or even still planning to thinking, it's not about just going abroad. Start building up your LinkedIn profile. You can't build up your LinkedIn profile in just one day. It takes months. Every day you post something about your um news or any achievements that you have done, especially academic achievements. and getting certification courses done. It's very important, not just publishing or just sharing up the stories in what you call LinkedIn or anywhere else. People get attracted more towards your profile if you have professional qualifications, you have done some online courses for your own development of your profile. Right, Purbashi, anything else you want to add up in the same thing, LinkedIn and all?
Yes, I have shared my Instagram this thing as well. Um, oh, someone is asking something. What
Yeah.
is
What's the scope of LLM in intellectual property abroad?
okay regarding LLM? Of course, it's the law thing, so it will be different in India and it will be different in UK. Um, I don't have much idea about how doing a master's in law will be beneficial for you because in the graduation you'll be studying about India's law.
Yeah, but the best thing about UK law and the Indian law is the arbitration is more of the common. That is, then people choosing to study in the UK for law is the highest compared to any of the countries of the world. Secondly, when you have an LLM in specialization in still, we have still limitations in India. We still have LLM in India for 2 years, yes, except for few NLUs who have started implementing 1 year LLM courses. So by the time you're applying for LLM, it means you're already a bar council lawyer in India. So it does not stops you to come back to India and work in the corporate law sectors or even in the corporate companies. Or even if you want to practice in the UK, you can sit for the bar at law council examination and you can be a solicitor and can work with a solicitor in the meantime. But the best part about doing a law program in the UK is that you get the scopes and accessibility to get or do internship with solicitors. Plus, you start with a minimum graduate scheme salary ranging from 24 to 26,000 pounds. And can you brief about tuition fees? Someone's asking. And scholarship amount sufficient to cover that? I I think that's a mix contradicting question, right, Purvashri?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to answer that at the same time.
Mm, mm, mm. So the tuition fees, it will be depend upon the course that you're applying for. For my course, it was 20 lakhs, I think. And I did get
25%. 3,000 or 5,000 pounds was a scholarship. Oh, you
yeah,
remember?
something like that. I don't
Okay.
remember.
See,
Yeah.
Okay, Maven. So I'm just pronouncing the initials Maven. So I can feel that. So it's not about how much scholarship amount will be sufficient to cover that. It depends on which university, as Purbashree rightfully said. If your university tuition fees is 15 lakhs, then depends of how much your university is providing your scholarships, how much external scholarship you are applying for yourself. At the same time, education loan can be considered as one way of scholarships if you can you have the right integrity that what course you're going for yourself. Because the government of India under the Dhanlakshmi scheme, they're giving you loans up to 40 lakhs if you're going to study in the top 150 universities of the world. And especially for STEM courses, science, technology, engineering, and medicine courses. So anyone going to study in these 150 universities of the world across the globe, the government of India sponsors you till 40 to 50 lakhs without any mortgage collateral and can be repaid back in 18 years after your course completions. So this is one way of good scholarship scheme. If we have that confidence that yes, we
Yeah.
can repay back 40 lakhs, I think everyone should start doing on the same thing. If we are
Yeah,
ready to
I
do
mean,
on,
I mean, if you are not even getting the scholarship, suppose you are completely going on a loan basis. If we consider that, you will be able to pay the loan as well. Um, it's because it's so easy to crack a job here. If you compare the Indian market and the salary that you will get from the beginning will be lot and lot higher than you would get as your first salary in India.
okay, great, wonderful. So I think we can wind up now. So Purvashi, really thank you taking out time and sharing some insights,
Oh, thank
discussing
you.
bits and
Thank you
pieces
so
like
much.
in sharing the
Yeah.
science students, which are very usual questions we can't cover always, or we're not able to ask everyone the same questions on that, right?
Yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
Matrika, you have asked me. There's no specific scheme for biotech, the the joint program is known as GATI. You can do a research, but for that, it's not the scheme. You need to first get the offers. Even the universities offer a good amount of scholarships for this, what you call, sector majorly on that, to be very honestly, because this comes under the STEM courses. I think there are a good amount of scholarships if you are trying for in countries in UK, especially from the universities of Glasgow. I'm just naming few of them who are good in biotech, Birmingham, and then comes Queen's University, Belfast, and you can get in touch with your counselor